Hi, welcome back to The Environmentalist. I'm your host, Sean, and today we will be talking about lab-grown meats and how they can help save our environment. I'm joined here today with Mark Post. For those of you who don't know, he created the first lab-grown piece of meat. How are you doing today, Mark?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on the podcast. Big fan.
No problem. So, you've come out publicly and said that animals are inefficient. Care to elaborate on this statement?
So it all has to do with that these animals, these pigs and cows, were never really designed and never had an evolution to serve as dinner for us. So they are not necessarily efficient, and in fact they are very, very inefficient. For every 15 grams of meat that we eat, we have to feed those animals 100 of grams vegetable proteins. And so they have a bioconversion rate of 15%. And already as we speak, livestock is using 70% of all our arable lands in the world. And what's even worse, the World Health Organization is predicting that in 2050, meat consumption will be double what it is right now because of growing middle class in India, China, Brazil, Africa. So you can do the math. That's not going to work. We need to come up with a solution.
I agree. We do need to come up with a solution. So please inform our listeners of your solution where you take muscle from these animals and use them to create meats.
Muscle provide tension, start to contract even, and with that they will exercise themselves and they will grow tissue, muscle fibers, small muscle fibers. If you just take a large number of those muscle fibers, 20,000 to be exact, you can assemble a patty, a hamburger. And that's exactly what we have done. Of course, you can also add fat to it. Now, this hamburger contains 60 billion cells. So that's a lot. You need culture a lot of cells, and you need to somehow find a way to do that efficiently, because remember, we have to be more efficient than the cow or the pig. Currently, we're using a reasonably inefficient system for it, and eventually we're going to use a bioreactor, a silver tank like this, of 25,000 liters. That's a sizable pool, an Olympic pool, I guess. But with that, you can feed 40,000 people per year. So that's already reasonable.
Wow, that's fantastic. Well, this is where the podcast ends, so I guess I'd like to thank you all for coming today. Hope you stay tuned next week, because next week we will be having Bill Nye the Science Guy.